Hey Capricorn, welcome to your weekly forecast for June 17th through the 23rd. We're going to check in this week for Capricorn Sun, Moon, and Rising. Get a feel of what's coming up for you in the week ahead. Looking into the full moon energy, we're starting off the week with full moon energy. We've got a full moon happening the evening of the 16th, the early morning hours of the 17th. And before we kind of get into what astrologers are predicting for how the full moon is going to be affecting Capricorn, we're also going to just kind of peek into here and see what the cards have to say, okay? Because sometimes the cards might be a little different, sometimes it's a little bit of the same, but we're going to just jump on in here and we're going to see what is coming up for the week ahead for our Capricorn friends. I always like to just remind you guys, this is a general reading. There's thousands of people on YouTube. It's not going to resonate 100% for every single person. I do encourage you to watch your moon sign and rising sign videos. Some weeks those may resonate with you more. Okay, but we're going to see what's coming up. We got like a nice little ocean beachy theme here for the summertime. We're approaching the summertime. And I'm using a really cool little mermaid deck. So we are in mermaid mode this week, my dears. Alright, Capricorn. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And at the end of the reading, I'm going to pull a money affirmation for you guys. A lot of you have been asking me to do the money affirmation again. So that is what's going to be happening at the end of this video. Alright, Capricorn, I love it. The Fool. I love the Fool. You're starting off the week with that Fool card. So the Fool card has to do with going in a new direction, kind of marching to the beat of your own drum, coming into this energy of taking a leap of faith. I always kind of associate the Fool card, you know, when I see it, it makes me think of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Is it Raiders of the Lost Ark? No. It's the Last Crusade. It's the Last Crusade. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Or no. Gosh darn it. The search for the Holy Grail. When he's trying to get the Holy Grail and he's going through the cave and there's all of these traps and things, and there's this one part where he needs to walk across a bridge of faith, and it's like he's really, if you've seen the movie, it's like he's in the back, he has his back to the wall of the cave, and below him he can't see any kind of bridge, and he's just kind of like, here goes nothing, and he puts his leg out and he starts falling, but all of a sudden he stops because there's this invisible bridge that like catches him and he's able to walk across it. That's what the Fool card is like for me sometimes, when we feel it's time to take a leap, but we have no idea what in the heck is going to be out there. We don't know if something is going to catch us or not catch us. We don't know if we're going to fall on our face, but we feel like it's time for a change and we're wanting to go in a new direction. And sometimes the Fool card can feel like we're taking a shot in the dark, so to speak, right? You're like, well, here goes nothing. I don't know if I'm going to get this job, and, you know, maybe, you know, but I'm just going to put my resume out for it, or I'm going to try to see if I can make this career change happen, or I'm going to approach this person and see if they're going to give me a chance, or I'm going to just go on this new venture and see what happens. You sometimes just feel pulled to do something, but you're not sure why or what the outcome is going to be. You just feel a very strong pull to do it. The Fool card is a major arcana card too, my darling, so keep this in mind. The major arcana comes up when we're at a really significant crossroads, when it's a really pivotal point in our life. Okay, so a lot of us are coming into that energy. We're coming into that leap of faith kind of energy here, where we're having a chance to really change our life and to do something very, very different for ourselves. Now, if we look at the full moon energy and the way that the astrologers are saying the full moon is going to be affecting Capricorn, according to the astrologers, this full moon that we have in Sagittarius is going to be helping a lot of you to understand your fears, and to bring you to a new level of consciousness. And it's going to help you to really dive into your soul and to do some really deep healing. Okay, so some of you are kind of maybe ahead of the game because you're realizing fairly quickly that there's nothing to fear, and you're taking this leap of faith into a new venture. So maybe one of the reasons why there hasn't been a lot of changes for some of you Capricorns is because you haven't taken certain chances, or you haven't tried something new, because maybe you were afraid that it wasn't going to work out, or you were going to be rejected in some way, or that people were going to judge you in some way. And the Fool card is saying a lot of you, it's like the fear is becoming less. You're feeling the pull more and the fear less. All right. Your Wednesday, Thursday card is, ooh, 8 of Wands. So this is like you're ready to go. You're rearing to go. 8 of Wands can be communication. So some of you are receiving good news. But overall, 8 of Wands is like you are moving fast. You're going forward with something. Whatever was unstuck is stuck no more. Like you are moving forward. So some of you maybe are receiving some encouragement. Some of you are hearing of an opportunity and you're like, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to jump for it. I've been wanting change. This could really be the chance for me to make these changes. So you're going forward in this way. You're taking a chance with that Fool card, and you're taking action and moving forward. That's really the whole kind of gist of the Sagittarius full moon. Really, it's affecting the signs in different ways, but it's kind of like bringing us to a moment of mental clarity and then bringing us into a time of action. And you guys are seeing the same pattern here with your cards so far. The Fool is the epiphany, right? The epiphany, the call. You're hearing the call. Midweek, you're coming into action and moving forward on an idea or plan. Keep in mind that there's other cards that could also give us a sense of movement, but we have not Ace of Wands, excuse me, eight of Wands. So number 8, 8 of Wands. And the Wands are about creativity. They're about fire. They're about passion. They're about moving forward, about something that excites you. So those of you who've been feeling very unfulfilled for a very long time, you're taking a leap into a direction of something that's bringing you a lot of satisfaction or excites you, or something that you are passionate about. Okay, you are getting involved in something that you feel like you can be excited about for the first time in a long time. Your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday card is King of Wands. Again, fire energy. Fire energy. And I love the King of Wands for several reasons, okay? But King of Wands is a card of action. It's a card of really coming in and making things happen. The story of the King of Wands, my understanding from my reading about the tarot, and maybe there's many different stories of the King of Wands if you're somebody who's into like comic books and origin stories. But the origin of the King of Wands is that he was not born a king. He was not born royalty. He had a very simple upbringing, a very simple background, and he was used to going through his life not having a lot. He wasn't handed a lot. He wasn't given a lot of things. So everything he has, he worked for, and he worked very hard for it. And he saw other people suffering, and he was like, this isn't okay. This isn't right. So he stepped up and he took control of a situation, and he brought about change. He took action. He rose to power. And when the people were like, yes, you're our hero, we want you to be the king, because he brought about change for others. He fought for the underdog. He fought for himself, and he rose above poverty. He rose above the struggles, and he came and stepped into a life of abundance, and he remained humble. He remembered where he came from, and he fought for the underdog, and he was generous in that way. So it's very, very beautiful energy with the King of Wands. Also the Queen of Wands. I love this pair, right? So a lot of you are coming into this energy. Some of you might be lucky enough to where you're encountering a King of Wands who's going to be helping you get into your own path, and other ones of you are just stepping in to that King of Wands energy and being that King of Wands. Now I want to say something. A lot of the times in tarot, when King of Wands comes up, People are like, oh, it's gonna be like a lover, a passionate lover. It's gonna be a love affair, or it's gonna be a third party situation. And that can be true, you know, when we're looking at a situation from a love standpoint. But in this reading, I am looking for how the energies are impacting your life other than love. So this is going to be about success. This is going to be about, you know, getting involved in projects and things that you are passionate about, that you feel fire towards, rising into your power. Okay, you can check out the love readings for June if you haven't already. There will be a link in the description that will take you to love for Capricorn, as well as all of the other signs. And so I encourage you to do that if you're looking for love. So I know King of Wands, sometimes we look at it and we're like, oh, you know, like passion. And I see a lot of the times on the weekly forecast, people will comment a lot about their twin flame, or, oh yeah, I know who that is. This is my lover. This is somebody who's going to call me. This is somebody I'm dating. And that may resonate with you, and I'm not going to say that that's not true, because that could be a message that you're taking away. But I also invite you to think about how these cards apply in ways that are not about just romantic. Okay, because that's my goal here, to not just do romantic. I understand love is important, and I want to provide that too for everybody, but I just kind of invite you to see the qualities here that are outside of, you know, love and sex. So your money card for the week, your financial affirmation here. And we'll take a look at the picture on the card, and then we will go into the affirmation on the back. How very appropriate with our beachy, watery theme, oceany theme here, mermaid theme here. You all have flow. Very, very appropriate, Capricorn, with all these little fishies and seahorses and things like that. So we're going to look at this, and we're going to look at some, like, intuitively reading what the messages mean. And I encourage you to take a screenshot of this or pause the video and look at it and see what colors and pictures and images are jumping out at you, because you could see something that's very significant for you on a personal level, and that is a personal message for you, because I may not touch on all of the different aspects, you know. So it's a really great way to take a general reading and to make it a little bit more personal by seeing what is jumping out at you. So the first thing that's jumping out at me, and you guys are gonna be like, what? That is crazy. Where did you get that, Amethyst? But this is how I read intuitively, and this is how different things are gonna mean different things for different ones of us. Here's an example for you right here, right now. The thing that's jumping out at me is the seahorse, okay? And the seahorse, for those of you who don't know what I think of when I see a seahorse, the seahorse is actually, as far as I know, the only species in the ocean where the father gives birth and the father raises the babies. And so I feel that a lot of you have some financial blocks that have to do with dear old dad. Maybe dad wasn't the best example of finances. Maybe dad wasn't around at all. Maybe dad was really busy working and not giving you much of an emotional support, or making you feel like you really have a long way to go before you can follow in his footsteps. It can be different for different ones of you, but I do feel some of you are clearing or releasing. And keep in mind, the full moon is a time of releasing. Some of you are going to be releasing something having to do with your father or a father figure that has been holding you back in your financial life. Okay, or maybe some of you are breaking out of a cycle of poverty that you inherited from your paternal side. Okay, I know that might seem out of left field, but that's what jumped out at me, and that's what I'm sharing for a lot of you. And there's a lot of other messages here. We see this flow, we see the fish, you know, going with the current, going with the tide. Sometimes we bark up the wrong tree, you know, for things, and we wait a very long time. But a lot of you are just coming into the flow of abundance, where you're just naturally allowing the universe to guide you to the next step, to the next place that's going to be a better place for you, or bring in more abundance. Now, the affirmation on the back, my darlings, is Riches flow into my life in many ways from many directions. Now, I encourage you to use this affirmation. You can say it the last thing at night before you go to bed. You can say it the first thing in the morning when you wake up. You can kind of make it your mantra throughout the day, whatever resonates with you. But this is a very powerful and very free way. It's not going to cost you a penny. It's not going to cost you a cent. It's a way free of cost that you can shift your energy and change your energy specifically around money and finances. So I invite you to take this and make use of it. Okay, a lot of you have been like, hey, I'm struggling financially. I love the spiritual messages, but I want you to do the money affirmations again. So they're here, my dears. Take advantage of it, make use of it. Somebody even told me, they messaged me and they told me that they went through and they watched all the videos, even if it wasn't their sign, because they just wanted to get all the different money affirmations. Guys, the more power to you. However you want to do it, you are not limited. I love that somebody kind of thought outside of it and was like, well, I'm just going to see if there's messages for me in the other videos. Whatever resonates with you. Just, so much of this is about following our guidance, keeping an open mind, thinking outside of the box. And the flow card is very much a card about that, right? Like just coming into the flow. So here's a beautiful affirmation. I do hope you make use of it. I thank you for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Thank you for being here. Those of you who would like a private reading, you can go ahead in the description and schedule there as well. And I thank you so very much, you guys. I'm wishing you a wonderful week ahead.